Hello again. Our talking point this morning is an issue of great importance, especially here in the country, with the rising number of people going missing. Human trafficking in the modeling industry. Former model and actress Phuti Khomo is launching a campaign to raise awareness.
She's here to tell us more.
Indeed. Also with us is Vanessa Huersen. Vanessa spent more than 10 years in a Thai prison after being duped into drug trafficking at the age of 21.
And we're also joined by Dr. Marcel van der Walt, a researcher at UNISA.
Thank you very much all for joining us this morning. I think I want to start with you, Dr. Marcel, is that whenever we talk about human trafficking, we always want to tell people how to protect themselves and what to look out for. When we talk about the psychology of people who actually are the perpetrators, what goes on in that world?
Well, I think human trafficking is fundamentally enabled by supply and demand. We live in a country like South Africa, enormous structural inequality, copious amount of people predisposed to being exploited, and it's all about money and social incentives in South Africa. It's fueling it.
Sure.
Well, Phuti, you're a former model, and you know, I think you'd kind of give us guidance on what are some of the telltale signs, especially on regarding ads that are posted on websites or even on social media, which might kind of link to human trafficking rings.
Sure. You know, in this time that I spent, creating this project, I found that, kids were experiencing all sorts of different things, especially on social media, because people have got access to your children now because of this medium. It's very difficult for you to be able to protect them because it's in the palm of their hands. Yeah. And what happens is that people DM your children and tell them that they are gorgeous, they're fantastic, they want to take them overseas, and they will give them a photo shoot. They will come to you as a mother and say, I found someone, I want to do modeling, and you will say no. You're not going to do modeling, you're going to educate yourself. And then what happens is that this child then goes behind your back, goes and meets up with these people when they're supposed to be going to the movies to take photo shoots. And when they're there, when they go and meet these people, they put them in such compromising situations and positions, and your kids are gullible and impressionable, so it's very hard for them to say no because of the desperation of wanting to become famous. And the things to look out for are agencies that are not known by other agencies. That's the first red flag. Second of all, people that ask you for exorbitant amounts of money in order for you to join their agencies. Those are people that are just taking advantage of you. You're not too sure about that.
You shouldn't pay to get paid.
So, listen, those are some of the things. But also people who are not letting you probe as to where your child is going to have the photo shoot, how they're going to get there, who are they allowed to have a chaperone, who the chaperone is, and the contact details of that chaperone, and also who the client is, how your child is going to get paid, and what your child is going to be doing as soon as they get on that set. The moment they mention things like private sets, be wary. Make sure that you push through and say, it doesn't matter whether it's a private set or not, I will be there to see what my child is going to be doing. So if you cannot be there yourself, make sure that your agent is the one that provides the chaperone to take your child to the necessary castings and the necessary jobs that they would be auditioning for.
What a scary world we live in. It's just so
crazy.
scary.
So Vanessa, you spent 10 years in a Thai prison, 16 years for drug-related charges. If you can just take us through your experience, how were you duped into the scheme?
I had a clothing store in Carlton Centre, so into fashion, loved fashion, and my boyfriend had a friend who would seldom come to the store, and I loved the way he dressed because it was a men's clothing store. And I asked my boyfriend, please ask him, where does he get his clothing from? So he said he get his material in Bangkok in Thailand. So he started talking to us and encouraging us to explore the fashion industry in Thailand. So I was very excited. That's the time I entered Miss South Africa and I made it to the semi-finals. Went abroad. For me, that was the cherry on the cake. Very excited. So my boyfriend's friend, his brother, Obi, in Thailand. So he came and he said that he had books for his brother to take back to Thailand, Jackson, the guy who came sell them to the store. So he said, he's studying engineering, do I mind to bring the engineering books back? I paged through one of the books, didn't interest me, and I continued with my shopping spree. The day I had returned back to South Africa, they had a random check at the airport, and the guy took out a small pocket knife, put it in the spine of the book, and then powder came out. the heroine was hidden in the covers of the books. They hollowed the covers out in 4 compartments and laid out the powder. And in the spine of the book, it was compressed in plastic.
How much heroin?
It was 1.7.
And that meant...
In 4 books.
And that meant spending all that amount of time in jail.
I received a death sentence.
Yeah. What was that experience like?
Oh, it was not a good experience. Far away from home, learning a different language, sentenced to death that was commuted to life for pleading guilty, and then also giving birth in the prison. And my daughter was taken away from me at the age of 3. That was very hard for me. I applied for a Royal King's Pardon application to the King of Thailand, which cost money, which I did not have. Somebody paid that for me. It was rejected after 3 years, and not knowing when I'm going to come back home, because South Africa didn't have a prisoner transfer treaty. So it was hard. I suffered from depression, anxiety and panic attacks for 4 years, not accepting my situation, having a lot of anger, hatred and unforgiveness inside of me. Was very sick. People was very suicidal. You had to purchase everything in this prison. It was hard. It was very tough being in that situation, and it's to survive. I also had suicidal thoughts to actually take my own life due to the suffering, and it just seemed so unending. So it was a very hard price to pay.
Phuti, let's speak to parents. You mentioned what to look out for, and if someone says private custody, don't even take your child there. But you know, you also find parents who put pressure on their babies to say, yeah, no, my child, I see a star here, you know, so I want my baby to be on these adverts and to make it. Let's talk to parents in terms of how to responsibly take care of their children when it comes to this space.
You know, the thing about it is that that's how, you know, there aren't any marketing campaigns or any ways in which, you know, government is trying to alert people or make people know or about the dangers of human trafficking or about human trafficking, period. So a parent from Kwamashu, you know, a mother who's sitting who doesn't know how to read a contract, will then find herself in that situation because everybody wants their child to be a star. Everybody, you know, if somebody comes through and says, I'm going to make your child a star, that parent who is not fortunate enough to be any one of you is going to be excited. And the horrible thing about what human trafficking is done in this industry, the modeling industry now, is that these people are so comfortable because they know the lack of knowledge of what happens or how they traffic people in the industry. They even show their faces. That's how deep it's gotten. They would come to your home and say, Mama, I'm the representative, they have a website, they have this, and you would believe them because you don't know about any of these things, you understand? And you don't know how horrible and how much it's present in the community. I would say to parents who have children who want to be in the industry, get involved. Don't turn a blind eye.
Definitely.
Don't say, okay, my child wants to be a model. Okay, no. We're going to see that at a later stage. Learn about it right now. Learn about what the industry is about. Learn about who you need to contact in the industry. Learn who the credible modeling agencies in the industry are, who to talk to. Like, for instance, this is what I'm doing with the campaign that I started, which is the Phuti Khomo Modeling Expo. I am bringing credible international and local modeling agencies, so parents don't have to go out to go and look for these people, to go and source them and not know where to go. But I'm also bringing people who have had experiences. Models will be talking about the experiences as well, telling people what to look out for, what they went through, how these people were able to grasp and grab them. And mind you, they do use women. Don't
100%.
think that they
These
don't.
days it's so rough. You think that it's somebody that you can trust because you know women, we come with the promise of taking care of
a child.
But it's quite the opposite. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and talking to us about this very, very pertinent topic. That was Dr. Marcel van der Vet, a researcher at UNISA, Vanessa Goosen, as well as Phuti Khomo. Thank you very much for joining us.